I am in my car right now, about to drive to Brooklyn, New York, to do maybe the most unhinged thing I have ever heard of. Roll the tape.
Have you ever wanted to feel like a real-life criminal? This is your chance. To celebrate its 10th year, Pyer Moss will host its second ever sales event in a decade, a looting. The Loot Out draws inspiration from the luxury fashion industry's global decline, the burgeoning dupe culture, and the recent looting sprees in luxury stores across America. How fun! This innovative sales event offers a unique and exhilarating shopping experience. Attendees will have the chance to grab as much as they can physically wear out the door within a time limit of either 1 or 5 minutes. Phones and cameras will not be allowed inside the venue. Haters and police are not welcomed.
That's right, I am on my way to do the Loot Out by the luxury designer streetwear brand Pyer Moss. You saw the video. It's insane. I don't know what to expect. It's actually kind of funny. Just a couple weeks ago, I had my rep from The Real over at my place picking up some stuff that I wanted to sell, and she saw a piece by Pyer Moss and was like, I've never heard of this brand. Who are they? Like, we take them, but who are they? And I was like, yeah, it's weird. They were really big, really popular, popping off, kind of hyped, and then they completely fell off the face of the earth. Like somewhere a little bit after the pandemic, they announced they started a new company with Kering, the luxury brand that owns Gucci and Balenciaga. They started this new venture called Your Friends in New York, and they were like, big things are coming. And then literally nothing. For like 2-3 years, I haven't heard anything about Pyer Moss. And then they announced this. And I think there's like a 50-50 chance that I'm about to get trolled. Like, it may not even be what it sounds like it is in the video. What it sounds like to me, if you take it at face value, is that it's like a supermarket sweep thing where I've got a few minutes and I run through some store or warehouse of theirs and take as much shit as I can, and then I keep it. That's what it sounds like it is to me. And if that's what it is, that's fucking insane. And I felt like I could not say no to it. So first things first, I've got to get to Brooklyn. Let's roll. So let's talk a bit about what I'm expecting here. And by the way, I have the camera propped up. I'm just talking. It always stresses me out when people are like filming themselves while driving. I'm just talking. It's all good. So like I said, I think there's like a 50-50 shot that this is what they say it is. I found it interesting that they mentioned like dupe culture in the announcement video. Like, that was interesting to me. Like, does that mean that they're gonna be giving just like fake stuff? That would be kind of disappointing if it's true, but also, like, if it's the brand selling you the fake stuff, does that make it fake anymore? That's kind of interesting conceptually. And Kirby, the founder of Pyer Moss, and I'm guessing the brainchild of this whole thing, he's kind of like a loose cannon. He goes to the beat of his own drummer. The first time I ever heard about him was on the Netflix Project Runway type show. I think it was called Next in Fashion. And in that episode, just in front of everybody, in front of the cameras, in front of like a crowd even, I think he was like, oh yeah, Louis Vuitton steals my designs. This was back when Virgil was at the house. Now that Virgil's passed, I doubt that's something he would say anymore, but that doesn't necessarily make it any less true. I know he was pretty pissed at them. So the fact that he's willing to say stuff like that and do things like this, I think is very interesting. And this is an interesting brand run by an interesting guy, so I'm kind of expecting anything here. It could be exactly what they say it is. It could be the supermarket sweep thing, or it could be something, some crazy conceptual troll. But if it is what they say it is, I'm guessing the reason for that is that they need to clear stock, right? And they don't want to go through the trouble of doing a whole, end of season sale, yada, 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 shipping stuff out. Or maybe they think they would have trouble moving all the inventory they've got, and it makes more financial sense to just dump it all and let people grab piles of it. Whatever it is, I think it's going to be interesting. All right, we made it to Brooklyn. I am around the suite, and let's see if we can scope this out a bit. I'm a bit early. I kind of want to see what's going on in the area and what it looks like make sure it's not taking me down a dark alley to steal my organs or something. Let's make sure that's not the case. All right, I found the spot. It's super windy, super cold. I came back to the car to decamp and talk strategy because it does look like a real place. There are people gathering there. Hopefully it is what they say it was on the invite and then the video and everything. So now I've got to start thinking about strategy because I don't know if they're going to be sending us in one at a time or in like groups. If it's groups, I got to make sure I get what I want to get. And I think it's going to be helpful that I have my own type of thing that I'm looking for that's probably different than what other people are looking for. I don't want like super hype streetwear stuff. Like my first pick isn't going to be like a logo t-shirt or a logo hoodie or something. I want interesting stuff that I probably won't find anywhere else. Like if they've got weird runway pieces, even like they did a couture show. If they're giving away couture stuff right now, that would be insane. I doubt it, but I guess you never know. But I want the weirder stuff that I'm not just going to find on Grailed somewhere for $20 in a year. You know what I mean? I want the interesting, unique, avant-garde, weird, limited run type of stuff that is maybe going to be hidden in a corner here. One thing to also note, they did say no filming is allowed. I'm going to see what I can do, but there's a good chance I'm not really going to get anything of the event itself. So I guess I'm going to go in and do this thing, and maybe you'll see something from it. Maybe you won't. If not, I'll see you back here after and let you know how it went.
Yeah, hi everybody.
All right, I just finished up. That was fucking insane. It was exactly as advertised. It was supermarket sweep. I remember as a kid, I would watch Nickelodeon and they would send a kid into Toys R Us for a minute, whatever you can put in your cart you keep. That's exactly what it was. You went into a huge room filled with Pyer Moss stuff from 10 years worth of seasons, and literally whatever you could put on your body, at the end of time, you keep it. So I got this like corduroy, faux fur jacket that I'm wearing right now, some striped like knit woven pants, pair of logo jeans, like a sort of stretch denim jacket, varsity logo sweatshirt, short sleeve satin shirt. I'm guessing a super, super early military jacket, like no tags in it at all. That's so interesting. And finally, this huge pleated Reebok like shell coat. It's insane. So we've got to get home and check all this stuff out in detail. But first I noticed there is a Saks off 5th around the corner, so why not check it out while we're here? All right, well, Saks off 5th was a complete bust unless you're into overpriced Michael Kors stuff or a Tom Brown hoodie at 10% off. So instead of $1,000, it's like $900. I always forget that Saks sucks, at least the stores, all right? But anyway, we already did the best thing of the day. I don't know why I thought I needed to do more shopping, but now I got to drive home. It was a huge high and out to low because I got to brave the New York traffic to go home. So I'm just driving and reflecting now, and I'm really happy with how that went. The vibes were surprisingly good. If I'm being honest with you, I went into this thinking it was probably like the last gasp of a potentially dying brand. Like, why else would a brand dump like all of their old product for people to take as much as they want, which really is how it is. But the vibes were great. Kirby, the owner of the brand that we were talking about earlier, he came up and talked to all of us, gave like a little intro, and according to him, this was like him setting up the next phase of the brand that they're going into. He probably wanted to delineate the past versus the future that he's going into. He said he's just been living in Miami, doing his thing, having fun. He jokingly, not so jokingly, said that he's never doing a media interview again. I think he's kind of gotten himself into trouble with his big mouth, the fashion politics sensitivities or whatever. He says it like it is, you know what I mean? Probably has unfairly been treated poorly by some of the people that he has to deal with in the fashion industry. So it seems like he's trying to set up a brand more for the people, you know what I mean? And this was a way of kind of putting that into action. A lot of brands say they're for the people. This was an event that really was. There was a bad reaction to that announcement video because some people took it as like glorifying crime. I don't know. I think he would say, I don't care how you took it. And I think that's the right way to be. He's running his brand how he wants to, and the vibes were really, really good. All right, we are back home in the familiar digs, the great void of green, and now we can take a closer look at what I got. It's so much stuff. It's so cool. So this first one is actually the most curious. I don't really know what it is. It just caught my eye, so I grabbed it, but there's no branding at all. No tags, just this hanger up here. There's a printed 48 inside, quite faded, but it's like a really nice army, like military jacket. It's got these flaps here, these really, really cool buttons right there, kind of embellished in some way. Yeah, the shoulder flaps, it's all really nice. There's a tiny bit of like drawn art right here, but this is the only one I can't find like a runway reference for. I'm wondering if this is like a super early piece or a sample or like a reference piece that maybe isn't even from Pyer Moss and got thrown in with the bunch. If anyone knows any information about this, let me know. Next up is a short sleeve black shirt. Kind of plain, right? Kind of boring. Not really. There's some interesting stuff going on here. First off, I love the cutouts at the collar. It's like a notch lapel of a collar, which I find extremely interesting. But also, this fabric is gnarly. Let me show you. So this, I think, is one of the latest pieces that they included because it says Your Friends in New York, which is kind of like the last couple years of the brand, but size small. And you can see under there, this is silk and spandex, mostly silk, and it feels so good. As soon as I felt it, I was like, oh yeah, I'm grabbing that. Next up is a really nice pair of black logo jeans. They're like super high-rise, classic style. I love the contrast stitching. That's one thing I think Kirby has always had a really great eye for. And then you've got this embroidered logo, one at each leg. But I think it's a really interesting style. It's a really interesting cut, that high-rise and then tapering towards the ankles. And the fit's really nice. It's got a good amount of stretch too. It's just a good pair of jeans, and the logo kind of sets it off a little bit hypey, you know? Next up is the widest crew neck sweatshirt I have ever seen in my life. So here it is over here, and it just keeps going. This is tagged a size medium, by the way, so it's intentionally incredibly wide. I can't even fit the whole width on camera. It reminds me of like the recent Pyer Moss 16XL collection, but it's got a really cool like varsity logo here, and then a small couture business because they did do a couture collection, which was really cool. I love the fabrication of this. It's nice, thick. I love the inside of this. It feels like the same fabric that Enfant Riche de Primé used for their hoodies, which I really love. Classic style with a kind of V right here, super dropped shoulders. Yeah, this is like a really, really nice sweatshirt. Next up is a super early denim jacket from the brand. I think Kirby's not a huge fan of the early stuff, but I actually like it quite a bit. This jacket actually reminds me a lot of like Rick Owens' Dark Shadow, but you've got these like, I think, pleather strips down the center, dual chest pocket, kind of trucker style. It's super elongated, and I think it's to this side. Yeah, it's got a zipper down the side. So it's a much kind of edgier style that kind of fits with what I generally tend to wear, and it's very comfortable. It has tons and tons of stretch to it. And all in all, this one is probably the craziest piece I got. It's insane. This is one of the collaborative Reebok pieces, but it's fully lined in red. It's like a kind of like polyester shell jacket, but it's like a crop jacket up here, kind of denim jacket, again, contrast stitch styling, like snap buttons. You've got this crazy strap that can be tied across. And then this is like a pleated skirt at the bottom, super, super long. And then you've got like metal buckles at the sleeves for the cuffs, stuff like that. This has to be one of the most technical and crazy skill pieces that Reebok has ever had to make out of their factories. The fact that they even pulled this off is wild to me. And finally, I want to show you my two favorite pieces that I got. The first one is this faux fur jacket. I love the huge puffy lapel. This is just stupid comfortable. I love the cut of it. And then this is like a green gray corduroy. You've got this kind of like brand patch down here, like if you know you know kind of thing. Snap buttons down here, snap button like flat pocket, just fully lined in that faux fur. This thing is crazy nice. And my single favorite thing I got was actually this fairly low-key piece, I would say. It's like a really nice woven pair of lounge pants / sweatpants. I love these like brand yellow drawstrings here with metal tips, but there's no like care tags in it. I'm assuming it's a runway piece or a runway sample or something, but it feels to me like a woven linen or linen blend. I love the feel of that. I love the elasticated waist with the drawstrings. It's just so comfortable, and they fit me so well. Like, you can just see close up when you get in there. That is a nice fabrication right there. So these I actually think I'm gonna wear all the time. They're so good. I'm super hyped on these. So that's it. That was the Pyer Moss loot out. I'm super glad I did it. It was one of the craziest fashion related things I have ever done, but it was super worth it. I think, as you can see, I think anyone would agree that was worth it. And the entire concept was so cool. I had so much fun. I'm glad I did it. And if they ever do it again, I would suggest, if you're in the area, that you should try it too. All right, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment down below. It helps me with the algorithm and all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.